Hello students, welcome. Today I am going to talk about Majestic Gymnosperms, which is from the course Biodiversity, Microbes, Algae, Fungi and Archegonids. Its course code is BCHCT 131. I am Professor Amrita Nigam. Today we will talk about Gymnosperms. As you know, Gymnosperms are big trees. I think everybody has visited hill station or you have seen these big trees in your films. So these big trees, mostly they are Gymnosperms. Now we should know how the name Gymnosperm came. It is from the Greek word, and gymno means naked, while sperms mean seeds. So Gymnosperms means a plant, a tree with a naked seeds and no fruits. As you can see in the slide, where the C has seeds enclosed within a fruit, but the A and C, there is no fruit. They are naked. The examples of Gymnosperm is cycads, gingos and pines. Most of you have seen Pinus, which is very common in India, Pinus roxburghi, and you can see in the Shimla mountain range. Now let us see from where the Gymnosperms have originated. They came in existence in late Devonian period, and it is about 318 million years ago. Many of the Gymnosperms are extant. What do you mean by extant? They are from the very old age, Devonian period, but still they are in existence. You can see cycads and gingoils in our environment, and that's why they are called living fossils. They also existed with the dinosaurs, and that's why they are also called dinosaurs of plants. Where do we find these Gymnosperms? We can have them in eastern and western Himalayas. Cycad we can have also in tropical region. Netum in the more moist tropical regions, and Ephedra in arid regions, and Welwitschia in coastal desert of southwestern Africa. So you can see they are being distributed throughout the world and in all regions. There are lots of classes of Gymnosperms that have been extinct, and it has been, by the biologists, it has been said that the flower of angiosperm came in the existence from these Gymnosperms. So we don't find them living, but we are finding their fossils, and it indicates that the flower arose from these Gymnosperms. They are the big trees. In this slide you can see that there is a comparison with a big building which is 65, and you can see how all these pines, firs, sequoia and coastal redwood, they are in the comparison of the building. So they are very large trees, even some are very massive. There is a lot of secondary growth, and which gives a massive body to these plants. We can say that total number of genera, they are 70, and 725 species exist in whole world, and a total number of 16 genera with 53 species are reported from India. So the large number of species which are found in India. Now we shall see the characteristic of these Gymnosperms. They are autotrophic. What does it mean? They photosynthesize themselves and make their food. They have well developed vascular system, which is root, xylem, phloem and the whole stem. And the most distinguishing feature of this Gymnosperm is naked seed. And ovules and seeds of gymnosperm develop on the scales of a scone, and they are not enclosed in the chamber which is called ovary as it is found in angiosperms. So, this is the main difference between angiosperms and gymnosperms, as we found naked seeds in gymnosperms, but the seeds are enclosed in ovary and well protected in angiosperm. So, it is a type of evolution. Let us see the morphology. The plant body is sporophyte with stem, root and leaves, and they are very tall, and mostly they are trees, but shrubs are also found. As an example, it is ephedra, and some of the plants are also lineage as Nigam. These trees, they also have secondary growth, so they increase in diameter. This is an example of a red giant wood tree. This is measuring about 125 meter and 30 meter in height and 30 meter in girth. It is a 4,000-year-old redwood tree, and it is still found in California. People can go through in their car from this tree. So, it is a very massive tree, and it is called red giant wood, and there are so many trees found in California. The gymnosperms, they are not only big in diameter, but also in longevity. This is an example of Pinus longevia. It is said that it is more than 5,000 years old and is still found in the environment. The smallest gymnosperm is known as Gymea pygmea, and it is just 5 centimeters tall. So, you can see from the red giant wood, the giant sequoia, we have a very small gymnosperms which is known as Gymea pygmea. So, there is a wide range of tallness and the smallness in gymnosperm. Another species which I will want to tell you is Ginkgo biloba. It belongs to ginkgoales, and for centuries this is cultivated by Chinese Buddhist monk in monasteries, and still it is found there, and it has a fan shaped like leaves with a parallel venation. So, this is also a very unique tree. As you can see that the growth of these trees are monopodial, they only grow upward in the single direction, and they do not have the xylem except for ephedra, welwitschia and Nigam. Another very important character is root. The first root is tap root, it is a large system, but in cycas some other type of root which is called colloid root or mycorrhizal colloid root is also found. It is apogeotropic. What does it mean? It grow upward from the ground. They are negative geotropisms, and they also lie down parallel to the earth, and they have a algal component in their root which also give them nitrogen. So, colloid root is also very important character of the plant cycas. Niteles are represented in India by a number of species of Nigam. These are Nigam contractum, Niter ninomon, Nigam variety Griffithii, Nigam latifolium var funicular, Nigam latifolium marcopodium and Nigam oblongum. So, these are the species which are found in India. Similarly, ephedra, we have 7 species of ephedra, and they are found in the plains of Rajasthan, which is ephedra foliata, and rest of the 6 are confined to northwest region of Himalayan region. Cycas, Pinus, Ginkgo, ephedra, every plant have a different kind of leaves. So, small leaves are called microphyllous, while the big leaves are called megaphyllous. They are both simple and compound. So, we can see there is the fern like leaves are in cycas. In Pinus we have needle like leaves which are xerophytic characters, and many varieties, many species of pinus can be identified on the basis of these needles. And Nitum, they have leaves just like a dicot leaves, though it is very superficial, but they have. So, there is a lots of variation in the leaves of Gymnosperms. Welwitschia is another miracle plant, because apart from which we have told about that they are large trees, big trees, but Welwitschia is a small tree. Though diameter wise it spreads more than 1.5 meters, but it is very small in height, and it has a leaves which are persistent and strap like, and they have the thick cuticle. So, and there is also scale leaves, but the thick cuticle make the plant survive in the desert condition. So, many xerophytic characters are also found in Gymnosperms. So, they have a wide variety of distribution, and the leaves of Welwitschia, which are strap shaped, they are for many years, and they give the food to the plant, and they are protected with a very thick cuticle. Venation. Likewise, their leaves have a different shape, they also have lots of venation. They are reticular in the Nitum, or you can find parallel in Welwitschia, and dichotomous in Ginkgo. So, there is lots of variation in the venation, and resin canals are also found on all the coniferae, the order Coniferae, except taxa, where stomata are sunken. This is also a very xerophytic character. So, let us now see what are the characteristics of Gymnosperms, how we can just identify them. So, first is Gymnosperm produce cones, they do not bear fruits, and their plant body, the major body is sporophyte, on which gametophyte is dependent. So, Gymnosperms are heterophorous. The two kinds of spores are found, microspores and megaspores, and they are produced in different sporangia. So, the microsporangia produces the microspores, and the megasporangia are produced on the sporophylls, which are called megasporophylls, and they are leaf like structure, though special. Gametophyte are small, dependent on sporophyte, and generative cells are present in pollen tube, which produces two male gametes. One of them unites with the egg and they form the zygote. The zygote then develop into the embryo, which is remain enclosed in ovule, and the ovule then transformed in the seed, which is naked and characteristics of Gymnosperm. So, the main characteristic, the gametophyte are very small, they are dependent, and microsporophylls and megasporophylls are two structures on which they develop. You can see a various type of microsporophyll, which is Cycas one is said the largest microsporophyll in the plant kingdom, and then we have, you can see other types of small combs in which the microsporophyll or non-microsporophyll, they are small microsporangia in which the spore or pollen grains develop. So, microsporangia represent the pollen sac and microsporophyll the stamens. It is in the comparison of angiosperms. So, in the microsporangia, microspores are formed and which forms the male gamete. They may be very small, but they are microspores are unicellular and haploid, and they are tetrahedral. They have thick exine toward the base in Cycas. They are uniaperculate, and most of them they are spherical and uniapertuate. They may be winged, as you can find in Pinus. They are Mickey Mouse shaped, and they are with a reticulate exine in Abies, Cedrus, Pinus and Picea. Ephedra, the pollen grains are inapertuate, elongate and placate. Now, the people say, the scientists say, the biologists say that the reduction in the wing made ultimately the non-winged pollen grains as it is reported in ephedra. So, from the winged pollen grain to non-winged pollen grain there is a evolution, and this is found in ephedra and most of the angiosperms. The slides also tell out the structure of microsporophyll. There is a big microsporophyll, then we have microsporangia. In microsporangia we have micro spores or pollen grains, and this is the pollen grain found in Pinus. So, we can see it is a Mickey Mouse structure with winged structure. Now, let us talk about megasporangia. As you have studied about the microsporangia, the megasporangia makes the ovule. So, these are the different type of megasporangia found on megasporophyll. Female gametophyte or ovule of gymnosperms are without any covering, that is naked, and are borne on a usually spirally arranged megafold around a central axis. So, these are the example as Cycas revoluta, Cycas urcinalis, Cycas monoclina. You can see the ovules, the big ovules. So, the Cycas ovule are one of the biggest ovule in plant kingdom. You can see in the TS how they are arranged on a megasporophyll. The ovule is a megasporangium which encloses a nucleus and a mass of parenchymatous cell. They have 3 layers, outer one, the inner stony layer and inner fleshy layer. So, 3 layers are found around the ovules. Then there is a nucleus and archegonium chamber where the archegonia or the female gametophyte is found. Gymnosperm pollination is through wind pollination. In the earlier it was through insects, but mostly it is propagated by wind. They have to produce large number of pollen grains. So, there is in the picture you can see that there is a large number of pollen grains burst in the air. This is called as a pollen shower, because when they burst, the whole of the area becomes yellow. They are so much in number, but for this thing they have to give lots of energy to make these pollen grains. The gymnosperms have 2 type of pollination. One is siphonogamous. What happens in siphonogamous? The pollen tubes get out of the pollen spore and they give out the pollen, the male gametes or the sperm cells, which fuses with the egg cell and makes the embryo. So, when the pollen gametes are transported to the pollen tube and to the egg, it is known as siphogamous. But in Psycherophecus, Benites and Chordates, example Cycas, there is zooodigamous, and which is the sperm cells, they are ciliated and they swim through the water to reach a considerable distance to the egg, and then fertilization occurs. So, microsporangia is there, megasporangia is there, and microsporangia through meiosis they make microspores, and through mitosis then the pollen grains are formed, and then they give out the male gamete which fertilizes the egg, which comes through the megasporophylls and megaspores, and then through archegoniums and reduction division the egg is formed, and after combining with the male gametes 2-end zygote is formed and the embryo is formed, which through seeds again propagates and gives the sporophyte. The naked scene, because it does not have the outer covering of shell and they do not produce flower except a few exception, but they are also not true flower, they are flower like as in Nigam. The seed is true seed and it is inside the megasporangium. So, young sporophyte, the embryo is retained in the ovules and it remains attached to the megasporophyll, but not enclosed in a fruit. So, gymnosperms don't give rise to fruit. The ripe and dry seeds are shed and seeds germinate and develop into new plants. But this thing, the shedding and germinating also takes lot of time. So, that is why these gymnosperms, some of them they complete their cycle in 1 year, other in 2 years or 3 years. So, the seed to the seed and then to the germination and giving out a sporophyte takes lots of time in comparison to angiosperms, where it germinates in 2 or 6 months, 2, 3, 4, 5, a little variation, but in comparison the seeds of gymnosperm takes lot of time to germinate. A very important characteristic of gymnosperm seed is that it have 2 sporophytic and 1 gametophytic generation. How can it be possible? So, the seed coat is the old sporophyte, while the young embryo which is there, the young which has developed, is a new sporophytic generation, and the the female food would supply, which is a gametophytic tissue, is there. So, N, 2N and 2N. So, seed coat is a old sporophyte, the female gametophyte is endosperms which supplies food, and then there is a embryo which is a developing sporophyte. So, 3 generations are found in one gymnosperm seeds. Here the endosperm is very important because it supplies the food to the growing embryo, and the thing is that endosperm is haploid. How the endosperm is haploid? Because it forms before the fertilization. So, in angiosperms you know that the endosperm is 3N, but here is N because it forms before fertilization. Germination of its seeds in gymnosperm is epigeal. It comes out from the above the earth, and ephedra also shows the vivivary, which means that the seed germinates within the fruit when it is attached to the tree itself. We have also seen polyembryony, means lots of embryo develop in gymnosperms, but only one succeed to develop in a complete embryo. So, there is cleavage polyembryony also found in gymnosperms. They have a generalized type of 1 year cycle is shown here. Male cone initiation starts in summer, female in autumn, overwintering in the sporogenous stage, pollination during spring, fertilization in summer, and seed matures before the onset of next winter. So, this is the only 1 year type, but they have 2 year type, 3 year type also. The life cycles, as I have explained earlier, that the male and female means microspore and megaspore, they give out the male gametophyte and female gametophyte, ovules and pollen, which after pollination there is fertilization. So, 2N is 2N zygote is formed, zygote makes the embryo and the embryo meets the seeds, and then it develops again in a big plant. This classification is based on the by Bhatnagar and Moitra in 1996, and we have class Pro Gymnospermopsida, then we have class Cycaptopsida, then we have class Coneropsida. They are all fossils except the coniferous order, where we have family Pinaceae, Texiodaceae, Cupraceae, Podocarpiaceae, Orochariaceae, Cephalotexus and Texiaceae. So, these are only the living plants. Other plants, other order are extinct except the Gingoids which have Gingo. We have Nitopsida, in which Ephedrace, we have several species. Nitaceae, we have Nitum, and in Velvetiaceae we have only Velvetia, the only monotypic order in the gymnosperms. Economic importance. So, gymnosperms is used as food, medicine, timbers, oil sources, industrial value, aesthetic value and many others uses. The Abies balsama gives out the cannibalism. It is used for the making slides. We have ephedra, which is used in many medicines, in cough syrups. Ephedrine is the active principle which are used for medicinal purposes. Then we have Taxus brevifolia. This gives out an active component which is epoxy latex, and many ovarian, it has been found that ovarian cancer has been cured with this compound, where other methods such as surgery and other methods have failed. So, Taxus brevifolia gives out a very important component of this medicine which is used in cancer. So, ephedrine is alkaloid which is used in cough syrups. It is used in the treatment of asthma, cold, cough and bronchitis. And we have cycus juice which is used in curing blood vomiting, and there are cycus gums which is used against snake bite and also cures the malignant ulcers. Other roles of gymnosperms are help to maintain the ecosystem, they balance level of grasses, they act as a food and shelter, they also control the flooding by erosions. So, they absorb rainwater and they hold the soil in place. All you have eaten chilgoza, which is pinus seeds, Pinus giardiana. So, they are used in soups and nuts, in biscuits and confectionaries. Even the jewelries are also made from the amber which is found from the gymnosperms. So, these are some examples which are ambers are found from Pinus species, and lots of jewelry has been made. I think most of us have eaten sago, which is called sabudana, and it is extracted from the Cycas rhamphai and used as a sago. We make the pudding and many things from this sago. Wood. Pinus wood, I think in the whole world, the pinus wood is very important. The timber, we make our boats, we make pole, we make furnitures, we make house from gymnosperms wood. So, it is one of the most important component of gymnosperm wood that we use in each and every phase of life. The timber and the fibers are used for making a pulp. So, most important industry of paper and pulp, the wood is used from the gymnosperms. We also have a ornamental value. Christmas tree, it comes from the gymnosperms. Gymnosperms are also used as bonsai. So, many of these plants can be found at home like a bonsai. Thank you very much.